pushing myself to the. Yeah, I must be blind cause the way that it's looking, I'm trying, but I don't see no competition.
Things just ain't the same for gangsters.
Times is changing. Young people are aging.
Dude, Eminem wrote that. Did you know that? I knew
He
that.
did. Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you that.
Yeah, dude. You gotta move away from the mic just a tad bit.
Just a tad late.
It's a little loud for me, but all
How's
good.
that?
Nah, we're perfect now. But what's up, y'all? We back.
What's up? We're
It's
back,
CXC.
So
It doesn't matter what episode it is because it is being recorded in the past and it's coming out in the future because that's how time works. What up, y'all? Welcome back to CXC, the culture crossover. I'm here with Emlon. I am Gogo. We are your beautiful hosts. Today we're doing an album review, legacy check as we're calling it, until we change the name of Dr. Dre's 2001. Is it the Chronic 2001? Is that the official name? Or is it just called 2001?
It gets called. I think people refer to it as 2001, Chronic 2001.
Yeah.
These are all different names that it goes by, but I think it's officially the official title is 2001.
Okay.
And
well,
it's funny because this shit dropped in 99, but that's a whole different story on that too.
I mean, while we're on it, why don't we just, if you got the history lesson, just a little history lesson on it, go through it. This man is doing it without notes, so be impressed. You know, before you've seen things, he does it with notes. This is no notes. This is how the knowledge coming out. This is passion. Go for it. Tell us.
So this album dropped in November of 99, and Dre originally wanted to call this the Chronic 2000, you know, as he's paying homage to his OG album Chronic, right? The album that really like solidified him as the legend that he is. But then, you know, there was that gap, and when he had left Death Row, I think he had started Aftermath, and he had started putting out some things. I think with The Firm, he had put out like some songs on like a soundtrack or something. My memory doesn't serve me correctly there, but let's just say he put out some records and they weren't received well, and they're like, oh, Dre, he lost it. You know, people are already counting him out. He's like, it's not the same ever since. He's not the same guy, the same producer. He doesn't have it anymore ever since he fell off, basically. And Dre says that on Forgot About Dre.
Dre, yeah,
dude, a couple records.
I was just
wait.
Yeah, go. You got it.
So basically, so when he's gearing up to release this new project, when he started working on it, he's like, I'm gonna name this shit Chronic 2000. But because of the legal issues that he was dealing with Suge and with Death Row, he couldn't use Chronic 2000 because they already took that name and like I don't know, copyrighted or whatever, and
they had ownership of it, probably.
Yeah, and it's called something Chronic 2000. Dre was like, man, fuck it, call it 2001. I don't care. It's just the album title.
Yeah,
and I thought that was pretty gangsta itself.
Yeah,
just like that story.
And then they couldn't even. I was
always like, why is this shit called 2001? I remember thinking that, like, this shit came out in 99. I'm like, well, why are we like this? Because the music is so futuristic.
Yeah, so I mean, couldn't even just call it 99. I guess that doesn't sound as good as 2001 or 2000.
Might
so
well just bump it up, round it up, right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't think that's how PEMDAS works, but that's okay.
But I just had to
just
PEMDAS.
R.I.P. They don't do it like that anymore. Math class, by the way. Anyways, let's get into this. Let's talk production of the old. What I was saying before was like, can you imagine a time where people would say that Dr. Dre's production was not the same and that he lost it? Because that's not a. If you're like a younger person that wasn't around then or wasn't alive, you're still a semen in your father's bowls. You could not imagine a time where Dre wasn't considered like the best producer. You know what I mean? Like that's an insane thought. But let's get into production. This is a beautiful like just the instrumental of this album, which I didn't listen to, but the instrumental version of this album must be fantastic because all of these songs are so iconic. Like because there's like this little gap before every song starts, it feels like, where you can really appreciate the production. Like in Forgot About Dre, you can hear the production before it comes in, and it's fucking perfect. It's fucking perfect.
Everyone who's worked with Dre has always said his mixing process is untouchable.
Yeah,
the records come out sounding so full and so clean, and Dre is essentially orchestrating. He brings in live instrumentalists, people that play the instruments. It's like, I want you to play this melody. And they'll play, and he'll be on the drum machine doing what he does. And then, like, Scott Storch was a new recruitment that he brought on board. And Scott Storch is the one that did the ding, ding, ding for Still
Dre, yeah.
So Dre is literally getting all these moving parts. He's pulling out samples from old vinyl records. And so the album really this is the way I think about it, right? You know how like with Michael Jackson, I don't know if you know the story with like how Off the Wall, he poured so much into that and he only walked away with like 1 Grammy, and then
Yeah.
he was like, you know what? He told Quincy and he told his team, he's like, I'm gonna make an album so fucking good that you can't. It's like
Undeniable.
bulletproof. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
undeniable. Everything is gonna be a killer on the, and this feels like Dre's version of that.
Yeah.
Where everything in 2001,
Yeah.
it just fucking it's bigger than life.
100%. I 100% agree. Like when I was saying this is perfect, and like I like don't want to like drag on because I think everything there's so many songs in this that are not just iconic lyrics per se, they're iconic like sound. Still Dre, when it comes on, you know it's still Dre. When the Watcher comes on, like the verse is like very iconic, but it's if you just heard the beat, you know it is. Forgot About Dre is like that. Like Next Episode, all of these songs just sound
Yeah.
you know them by the sound. You don't need to hear the words. It's like
Right,
they're
exactly.
it's that amazing of an album that I mean, I'm gonna rate it right now. If it's out of 5, I'm giving it a 5. Like this is
Absolutely.
you're giving it a 5 too?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I mean,
Because,
it's just
bro,
yeah.
like,
Go.
it came out in '99. You listen to it, it still sounds so fucking polished and
Yes.
like
It didn't feel old. It didn't feel
No.
old at all. Like maybe sometimes the lyrics and stuff sounded like older, you sounded dated or whatever,
Sure,
like rhyme scheme and stuff. But the sound of the album, like we talked about Nellyville and we've talked about other albums that I don't know when this is coming out, but you would have already heard us talk about Nellyville, Massacre, and a few other albums at this point. And
yeah.
we talked about how they've aged over the last 20 so years. This is
Right.
even older. And like what it did, I feel like this and probably the Chronic as well, among everything he produced for like NWA and things like that, he created the sound of the West, in my opinion. He like if I think about what the West Coast sounds like for hip hop, I think Tupac, I think Snoop Dogg, I think Dr. Dre, I think about Exhibit, I think about these guys, and that's all
Yeah.
West Coast done by Dre. Like
Yeah.
it's iconic. Everything he made is iconic.
And they all play, make an appearance on the album too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's like Dre was just, he had his finger on and everything like West Coast
Yeah.
that fell in that like universe at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
A very good point. Yeah. Very good
100%. 100%, man. Butch goes
The
into
originator, basically, you can see he's one of the pioneers of gangster rap, for sure.
for sure, 100%, and especially the production behind it all of what it's going to sound like.
Yeah.
That brings us into artist performance. One of the big things is Dre didn't write much for this album, right? Like he had Jay-Z, he had Eminem, he had Exhibit, other people write for him. But we're not going to talk about that. Like it's not something that he like sit here and claims that he's the best rapper ever. He claims to be the best like producer ever, right?
He's a producer, right?
Yes. And
Right.
he got the best people in the room to write his lyrics. And I'm going to talk about like the lyrics coming from other people. I know every word of Still Dre. I know every word of Forgot About Dre still to this day. To this day.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And he, for someone that didn't write it, I think there is something to say that like he performed it in a way like either the writers or like Jay-Z and him are so in tune with Dre and like they have this like relationship where you can write for him perfectly, but plus he was able to perform it perfectly for those songs. And I think that's a credit to making the production of that song so you know the rhyme scheme you need to put on the song. But like listen, there's a bunch of people that write raps that can't put them on a track because they don't understand how to like rap. They understand how to make rap music, but they can't put it on a track. That there's a talent within that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was just watching an interview that Jay did, actually, funny enough, before we decided to do this album review. And he was talking about how the reference track that he gave to Dre, he was doing Dre's part as if he was enunciating shit. He was doing it as like he was putting his mind into the mind of a Dr. Dre and a Snoop Dogg. And he even did the ad libs, and he even did like Snoop's part too. Represent for all the gangsters across the world too. And he like made these little subtle things when he laid the reference track. But Dre, to Dre's credit, like he is a perfectionist, so he is gonna fucking deliver it as he
100%.
would if he's like he is a rapper. Well, I mean, he is a rapper, but he's a producer first.
He's a performer first, right? Because like he was also with like the what's it called, Wrecking Crew. Why am I blanking on what the name is? World Class. Like he's a performer, right?
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing, and for that reason, I'm gonna rank it now, and I'm gonna probably stop saying that. I'm gonna rank it now. I mean, to give credit on the performance of the artist and just the people that worked on it, I look back and I look back on some of the ratings I did in the past, and it has to be higher. Maybe I'm gonna regret this later. 4.7, 4.7. I think it's just such an iconic verses and albums that like about things we've talked about in the past. Like this is more iconic than everything. Like we're gonna see things, and I'm like, I'm worried that like to place this too low. And then we talk about other things, and I'm like, how did I like with an album that had Still Dre and had The Watcher and all those things, and I didn't give it a good enough rating? I'm okay being too high on it. I'm okay with it. It's an iconic
Yeah,
album.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like there may be 1 or 2 tracks towards the end of the album because what, like 21 tracks.
Yeah, it was a long album. Yeah.
Towards the end, it gets a little like there's some joints that I probably didn't listen to as
Yeah.
much, but there's like I would say 95% of the album it's non-skippable for me.
Yeah. So what's your rating over here on this one?
You gave it a 4.7.
I changed it to a 4.55 because I'm thinking. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll give
Fine, man. I'm changing it. I'm going 4.6. I'm rounding up to 4.6. You got me, man. Yeah. Because I'm just like when we talk about like Biggie and stuff, it's those performances are going to be better, but like it's okay. They'll tie in that. But all right, we got features because like we've talked about other albums and we haven't really gotten to features as much because they weren't as important. This is important. Having Snoop, having Exhibit, having all these guys, having Warren G, having
fresh on the
Corrupt,
scene. Fresh on the scene.
Yes.
He's on his way to being a massive star at this point.
Yes.
And Dre just scoops him up, and he's got like him at his rawest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And you got like R.I.P. the great Nate Dogg on this, Warren G. It's so amazing. Like we haven't really ranked features before, and it's always a character. I always want to use features as a thing that can only help a rating. I almost don't want to rate it, but I think we shouldn't rate it, to be honest, on the spot. I don't think we should rate features because that's not always up to people. But just talking about the features, they were fantastic, placed perfectly. I just love Dre and Snoop. Like that's like one of my favorite things that I feel like we didn't get enough of. Like Dre and M is cool because we get like Guilty Conscience as well, and we get Say What You Say, right, and stuff. We get them here in like I Need a Doctor. We get them a lot, but I feel like we could have used more Dre and Snoop. Like it just works so well that I feel like Still Dre and Next Episode are like perfect.
But like Dre and Snoop was like throughout the 90s, right? With the Doggy Style, the Chronic album. Snoop was all over that Chronic album. So that you know, now this is like
I meant in the future. Sorry. I meant like after this we didn't. Yeah, after this. Sorry, after this we didn't get as much. Like you know what I mean? We got it.
Snoop kind of started going like he linked up with like Master P and No Limit Records, and he started kind of doing his own thing. Yeah.
Which is cool. Which is great. I think this made me a little bit nostalgic to that. I was like, I wish we got a little bit more after that. You know, but
a little bit more.
Yeah. What about you? Features? What you thinking?
Features, fucking amazing. I mean, it's all about the features here. Like he's got an all-star fucking group of rappers that, not even just rappers. He's got fucking Eddie Griffin. I remember.
Skits. Yeah, I saw that.
And I would hear Eddie Griffin in an interview. I think he did an interview on Vlad TV, and he was talking about the creative process behind doing those skits, and it was just so fucking cool to listen to him talk about it. And he was like, Dre, a real producer, man. He will sit there and what he said was Dre was hanging out with him one night or something like that. They were out, and he's like, yeah, man, come visit the studio or whatever. So he brings Eddie Griffin to the studio, like during the making of the album. He has Eddie Griffin talk about some things, but like Dre is basically like, no, man, like say some of that shit that you was like saying the other night. That shit was funny. So what Dre ends up doing, he's like starts feeding Eddie Griffin like drinks, and as Eddie Griffin starts getting a little bit more and more drunk, it starts coming out, and then like Dre is like behind the boards and he's recording all this. So it's like Dre is literally a master at his craft. He knows how to bring out these performances from everybody. And then let's not get it twisted. Just to play into the weed theme and the Chronic theme. You got Tommy Chong on the outro. You know, Cheech and
Chong. Yeah. I love it.
Like, these little things, really, the features also help bring this cinematic experience to listening to the album from the very intro with the hydraulics with Exhibit, right?
Yes. I want
And
you to
and
talk
and
about that, but I just want to announce we're talking sequencing now, and I want you to go into that
sequencing.
because because
Yeah.
that's the next topic, and you're doing a great job getting into it. But I just want to kind of
Yeah.
announce it. So go for it. Yeah, yeah. Talk about
Alright.
the cinematic about it.
Sequencing, I mean, you think
Yeah.
about like the track Big Egos with the helicopters hovering over, and you think about fucking Bang Bang. You get the gunshots, and it's just
Yeah.
it gives you it throws you into like the middle of Compton or
Yes.
Crenshaw or like these LA neighborhoods. You're
Yeah.
really
Inglewood.
getting and let's not
Long
even
Beach,
forget, hey,
Inglewood.
let's not forget, you even got a track on there called Pause for Porno.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it shit's so good. It like you said, it's theatrical, and for
Yeah.
it literally placed you in a time and place of LA in like the late '90s, early 2000s, with everything
Yeah.
going on then, and it sounds like that. And I don't think you need to listen to it front to back because there's just so much fire in between. Like there's just some songs that are just so much fire. But having listened to this for the first time in probably a decade or maybe three at this point,
Mhm.
through like just through from beginning to end. I mean, it is kind of theatrical. I never noticed that, like, when I was like 12 years old listening to this, you know what I mean? Like we said before, Dre is a perfectionist, right? Like, when he put this together, it was a puzzle, and he put the puzzle pieces in the right place and made
Yeah.
it so, like, you listen to it front to back, you're gonna love it. If you just skip around, you're gonna love it. It doesn't matter. And that's just what he is, a perfectionist, and he's an artist at that. So,
Yeah,
four
if
and a
you
half for
if
me.
4.5. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's just still it's almost perfect. I mean, that whole sound in the very beginning, like that. They used to have it in the movie. It was like a movie production, like THC. I forget the. Anyways, I
Like
think Steven
HBO kind of
Spielberg
has
made it.
it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like that. Like this is like clip of like something is starting. The
Yes,
opening credits type
yes,
thing. Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He even throws that in there, and
Yeah.
that adds to it. He got sued
Yeah.
for that, by the way. But
Worth it. Fucking
worth
worth
it.
it. Yeah.
I was gonna add to one of the things you said, but oh yeah, yeah, I remember because I purchased the CD and you look inside and the booklet and all that. It's really cool because they have all these photos of like behind the scenes of like what it was like working on the album. It's got like
That reminds
photos of
me. Keep
yeah,
talking. Talk about it because I'm gonna go
uh-huh.
grab something. Keep talking.
I
Talk
bet.
about the photos. Go.
Yeah. So it's really cool. Like Dre and some of the people that he was working closely with on this album, including like Hitman and Mailman and all these guys. And like it shows like there's one photo where it shows like hundreds of vinyls just all over the floor and Dre standing on top of the vinyl and looking at the camera. Like it really was like we're fucking reaching into our bag and we're out every fucking thing. Oh, you got that shit on vinyl? Nice.
Yeah, dude. That's I was like, I need you to just keep talking for a second because I was like, I forgot I bought this on vinyl like this year. So
That's
fucking
lit.
still
That's
sealed.
lit. That's a good one to keep in your
Yeah, man.
collection.
Executive producer right there, Dr. Dre.
Fire.
Yeah, dude.
Fire.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you got the skits on there. Those are fucking crazy. Like the car bomb. That's
Dude,
a
yeah.
fucking crazy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way the album starts, The Watcher. It really kind of brings you into the mind frame of where Dre was at and kind of like he really was like self-aware of where where he felt like he was positioned
Yeah.
with now that he has all the success, but he's still doing gangster rap and he's like a
Yeah.
family man now in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just
and
listening to The Watcher where he talks about, I think it's The Watcher. I think where he talks about, it's like, listen, I'm not a thug, I'm not Tupac, whatever, but I will fuck you up if I have to, type thing.
yeah.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
forgot about Dre as well. Like, I gotta feed I need groceries to feed my kids, type thing. I forgot
Exactly.
the bar. So,
What do you think
what you
the OD, Easy E's, Ice
Ice
Cubes,
Cubes
and
and
DOC?
DOCs and Snoop D double G's and the group
Yeah,
that
man.
said, "Motherfuck the police." So what you got for sequencing? I put it at 4.5 because I'm reserving the higher fours for conceptual albums where I'm like the sequencing mattered. You know what I mean? Here it doesn't really matter, but it was still thought out. So I'm giving it like a high score per se. So what you got it at?
Out of 5? Out of 5?
Yeah. Yeah, out of 5.
I'll give it a 5.
All right. You gonna regret that later. Just kidding. I'm just joking.
Why do I need to pick and choose which ones I rank higher?
Do whatever you want. I'm just thinking about it like when if we ever do like more like artistic albums where they like made the whole story through the album, you know what I mean? Maybe then like it would be a higher grade for me. That's all the reason I did it.
Oh, because I listened to the album and I know like how much of a perfectionist Dre is, and I listened to it, and then from one track to the next, like you could tell like how everything seamlessly blends into the next joint. So
Yeah.
I think he did a phenomenal job on here. Even when you get like when you look at the intro and the outro and everything in between, it's just like beautifully blended. I think it's a little bit long, of course. But that
Yeah.
was normal at that time. There was double
Yeah.
albums were normal. 21 tracks was very normal.
Yeah. I'm glad that things have kind of gone away from that because I'm like, it's
Yeah.
long. I want the best of the best, and I don't need the fluff. But I get it. Favorite songs. Let's talk favorite songs, favorite bars, favorite memories, whatever. Like, I'll tell you right now, "Forgot About Dre" is my favorite song on this album. It's always been my favorite song. It's one of the ones where it's like it just gets you in that mood of like, "Fuck you guys," you know what I mean?
Yes.
If you don't like
Yes.
me, blow me. That's my favorite thing
Right.
that says. That's one of my favorite things that he says in the whole song, whole album. So, and then also like M's verse in that is like fucking psychotic, and I love
What do you
that
say
shit.
to somebody you hate or anyone trying to start
Throw
trouble your way?
Yeah,
Kill you and those motherfucking
Freaking-
barking dogs.
I choke you
Dude,
to
that
death with a
was-
Charleston chew.
And let's not, yeah, and let's not forget about that fucking music video. I was upstairs listening to my Will Smith CD.
Yeah, dude, that shit was funny. Man. Yeah.
That was really us like getting a continuation of the dynamic duo that Dre and M was too. The troublemaker that M is, and Dre being like sort of like the father figure, basically.
Yeah.
Forgot about Dre. Dun, 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 dun. The beat is insane, dude.
I wish I got the audio to clip into this so we could like play a little bit of things, but it's probably better that we don't get flagged for copyright or whatever. Also, I will say just one last thought on the favorite parts. Still Dre, I'm trying to think if it's the best beat of all time, like the best beat of all time. I don't think it is the best, but I do think it's top 5. I do think it might be top 5 all time. Because
we talk about this a lot, yeah.
like I really thought about this, and maybe we can do a full episode on just beats. I think Mobb Deep on what's it called? Shook Ones is like the only one I know that I put above it because I just love the way that one feels. But Still Dre is like really, really, really high up there. You could convince me it's the best beat of all time, and I would be like, that's fair. I ain't mad at it.
It's
What about you? What are your favorite moments, favorite songs?
Still Forgot About Dre is definitely.
Yeah.
If it's not one, it's two. For me, one would most likely be Still DRE because it includes a lot of my favorite moments. And Still DRE, I have very, very great, vivid memories of being introduced to that song by my older cousin who was funny. He was visiting from Sweden at the time, and he was like, I think 19 years old, and I was a young buck. So I was too young to like be purchasing rap CDs from the store.
Yeah.
So like I needed the influence to be from someone like him, and he actually was hip enough to know that he saw that the album had released. Funny enough, it had released in the U.S. and I don't think it had released in Sweden. So he had just from visiting the States and visiting us and the family, he was like, oh shit. And so he purchased that CD while he was visiting us, and he was playing that shit on repeat, and he was in love with Still DRE. So he was playing that shit on the boombox on repeat, and every time I'd walk past his room, he'd be like, yo, come here, listen to this part. So I had this is like literally still in my mind of him doing that. And so my favorite line, I'll just say it now since I'm on the topic, but try to be the king, but the ace is back. Like that shit was fire. When Dre said that.
Bar. Yeah, that's a bar.
So it's got to be Still DRE, man, because when that beat comes on, it's just
No, the beat is iconic. I just the verses on fucking Forgot About Dre. I just love someone that's just like fuck you. That's my fucking. I love that vibe. You know what I mean? If y'all don't like me, blow me.
It's tough because what's the difference is literally like right there too. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's 3 for me. Tied with next episode, and then Watcher. Like it's like the most iconic way to start a song. Things just ain't the same for gangsters. That just reminds me of West Coast Hip Hop.
And you were talking about features earlier, like the features on What's the Difference? All 3 of those guys.
That's true.
Exhibit, Eminem, and Dre, each one of their verses fucking brought something crazy.
Oh, 100%. It's again, this album is just almost near perfect of an album. Like this is like if you're like trying to like get inspiration as an artist and you want to go for perfection, this should be one of the albums. You know, like when you're an artist, you listen to things for inspiration. This should be something you pull out and listen to for inspiration.
I'm so happy you brought that because I was going to make this point at some point, but that was a good layup for me. Metro Boomin talks about how it was a big inspiration when he was making Heroes and Villains. He loved 2001 and listened to those albums from Dre.
Yeah.
It was like it felt like a whole experience, and he wanted that same thing for like modern day rap.
I can actually I can't explain why I understand that, but I can see kind of where the influence came from on that, because that is also a very theatrical like album that was
Yes.
made, done very
And he's
well.
also pulling the Futures and the 21 Savages and the Young Thugs, and he's
Yeah.
pulling those guys, and he's bringing them into this album or the Weekend. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, using
Morgan Freeman.
samples.
Morgan Freeman. Yes.
Perfect.
From
Yeah.
Homeland. Also, he had the Homelander thing at the in there,
Oh,
and it like
yeah.
we'll talk about that later. Let's not get into that because that is an album we should talk about, because I think we have a review that was out there, but we've like taken everything down because we're redoing it the way we want. So maybe we should do that one soon, because I've been listening to that a lot.
Would love to.
Let's talk cultural significance and kind of how it's aged. We'll rank them to both. Cultural significance, I mean, it's a 5. I don't even think I need to explain how significant of an album this is. You have Dr. Dre in his prime making beats that we will never forget. You have Eminem coming on. You have writing by Eminem. You have writing by Jay-Z, and it's like I don't know how to explain how it would. I can't imagine you can make an argument of this is not a top 15 most culturally important hip hop albums of all time. And I'm saying 15 because I don't want to say 5 and then motherfuckers are out here like, what about this, that, the other thing? It's definitely top 15. I don't give a fuck. It's where you put in the 15 is up to you, but it's definitely top fucking 15. And if something is top 15, that's a fucking 5 out of 5 for me, man.
It's always, I mean, there's songs on there, like, I mean, forget about the Super Bowl in LA a few years back when they performed Still DRE and shit like that. I mean, you think about like club, people that go to the club, like, you know, I'm someone that loves going to the club, and to this day, these are songs that are still in rotation in DJ sets, like fucking Next Episode and shit like that. Like, these songs are timeless. Hold up, yeah, exactly. These songs are still timeless, and it wasn't even like, sure, you could say it was the peak of Dre's career, but if you think about it, it was more of like a reinventing himself, because nothing like this had sounded. Dre hadn't put out anything that sounded quite like this before that. You know,
it solidified him.
Inspiration from everyone else too.
Yeah, it solidified his place in hip hop. I think he had the place, but it like made it like, hey, this is the best. It's always going to be the best. So for me, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 cultural significance.
Yeah, I would say, and sorry, I just want to clarify that last point. He was pulling inspiration from the team of people he was working with, whether it was like the Scott Storches or whether it was Eminem. I mean, he said this in interviews and stuff. Like, he was like, these guys, like, I feel like I'm soaking up all this like new energy that these guys are bringing to the table. And you think about, like, I mean, who was bigger than that in rap at the time? Like the Jay-Z, he was huge. He lent writing credit on there. Eminem, he was on his way to being the biggest thing. So, like, the significance is, I mean, self-explanatory.
Recently I saw 5 out of 5. I recently saw a clip of Ifeon Crockett, you know, the comedian that does impressions, with Dr. Dre. He was with Dr. Dre imitating Jay-Z. He's like, you remember when I wrote Still Dre for you? We should do it again. It was such a hit. I'll try to find it and throw it to you, but it's on his Instagram.
Dre?
He's sitting next to Dre in the studio going, man, it was a great time when I did with I did that, you know, Still Dre verse, and he did the Jay-Z laugh or whatever.
It's not Godfrey meeting Godfrey, because I just saw literally it was a video with Godfrey and Dre in the studio, but Godfrey was doing like Trump or something.
No. It was 1000%. I'm looking it up. It was Affion Crockett.
I gotta watch that. That sounds hilarious.
I'll send it. It was so good. It was
his Jay-Z impression is hilarious.
And I saw this before we were gonna do this, so I thought of that. Well, I was like, man, that's serendipitous that this happened.
It's nice.
I'm also giving that a 5/5. The culture.
That's a nice sweater you got on, by the way.
Ferrari, baby. I'm actually a McLaren fan, so like this is weird. I just throwing this on, but like I just like the way it looked. And you know, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, you know, he's fucking low-key dating Kim K.
Yeah. That's not a good sign for his career. But all right, I don't want to go down that tangent at all. Let's just wrap it up with how it's aged perfectly. Yeah. I think it reminds you of a time, but it doesn't feel old. You know what I mean? Like it does remind you of a time, but it feels old. And I think it reminds you of a time for sure, but it also kind of like makes me feel like California. It makes me feel like West Coast rap. It doesn't make me feel like 90s. It makes me feel like I'm landing at LAX and I'm gonna go listen to this. I'm gonna go listen to some Pac. I'm gonna listen like to the Chronic. I'm gonna listen to Snoop as I'm going down the 110 or whatever the road is. I forgot because I'm on the East Coast, but you know what I mean? Like it just reminds me of that. So it doesn't feel dated because it sounds like it's the sound of a city. It's the sound of like a region, and it can't grow old because it's what defined it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say 4.9. 4 point. Actually, no, it's a 5, motherfucker. What am I gonna do? It's fucking 5. Fuck me if you hate me. Fuck me if you hate me. So fuck y'all. As Dre said, fuck y'all, all y'all. If y'all don't like me, blow me.
Y'all gonna turn me back to the old me. Ooh. So good. Oh, so that's a good one. One of mine, and I'm gonna really quickly say it because I wanted to say this earlier. On what's the difference? He says something to the effect of like, it's not that I'm too big. It's not that I'm bigger than the rumors. It's that I'm too big to pay attention to him. Yo, that's the difference, or something like that. I don't know. But Exhibit also says, yo, what's the difference between me and you? About 5 bank accounts, 3 ounces, and 2 vehicles. Until my death, I'm Bangladesh. So I suggest you hold your breath. There ain't none left. Yo, that's the difference.
Dude, that's
and they say Exhibit is a shitty rapper. Fuck y'all.
Who says that?
People, man. Yeah, people.
I mean, Pimp My Ride did dilute his legacy a little bit. It was fun at the time. I get that, but I don't agree. He's a shitty rapper.
What do you want? You gotta get it back, man. Fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
What you got it for? How has it aged? Give me a 1 out of 5.
Yeah, man. Fuck it. I'm gonna give it a 5, dude. This is like one of my favorite albums of all time, and
of course,
re-listening to this just in preparation for this episode has only solidified that. And I feel like I remember like listening to this when I was younger, and I'm like, yo, this feels dangerous. Like, am I supposed to be listening to this? I'm listening to it, and I like that because it was like he didn't hold back.
Yeah.
When it came to like everything, like you were saying, basically, like from the lyrics to the production, but also like the subject matter and the content, what it's talking about. You get everything from the palm trees to the chronic to the fucking to the gang violence to all of it. And even the very last song before the outro is like a message where Dre gets vulnerable and he talks about the death of his brother who was murdered. And crazy enough, a little fun fact, Royce the 5'9" has some writing credit on there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's awesome. I love Royce, so that's dope.
So he even finds time to like weave in some very like personal vulnerability from a Dr. Dre, who is literally like the godfather of gangster rap. So it's just like it feels like a complete album in that sense. But yeah, man, 5.
100%. All right, man. Just to wrap it up. I mean, listen. If you haven't listened to Chronic 2001 and you call yourself a hip hop head, you lying to yourself. 1, 2. If you haven't listened to it in a while, do it. It's fucking fantastic. That's it. Like, I got nothing else to say. It is a work of art. It is perfect. Damn near, at least.
I imagine this is what our OGs felt about the original Chronic when that came out.
Yeah,
because they hold that to very
a higher regard. Yeah. And honestly, I like 2001 more than the Chronic just because of age. It's not the Chronic is bad. It's just age.
Right.
And the experience I got with it just wasn't something that really was big by the time I'd gotten to it. It had 100%. Been outplayed. So, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, man. I just really love this album, and I think it really like just made me a big Dre fan.
I mean, originally, not today.
Originally. Yeah, back then.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I like Dre. I want to start checking for anything else that he puts out, and that's kind of like the beginning of like my little bit of that journey for me.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you, man. All right, do you want to know just a quick reveal of our ratings overall? Sure. Your rating was a 4.94, so this is damn near perfect. Do you think I was higher or lower?
You were lower than mine.
I was a 4.82. So it's still, I think my ratings overall from you are pretty much just a little bit lower as we go, because I feel like I'm waiting for like what I'm going to think is the perfect album. And I'm just chasing perfection that hasn't hit. It's the problem.
It's okay. It's the Dr. Dre in you.
It's true. He's influenced me that much, but thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you can like, know when we put shit out, and like let us know what else you want to hear. We're gonna put out a bunch of shit every week. We're gonna be fucking consistent this time. I don't give a fuck. And remember, if y'all don't like me,
pushing myself to the limit. pushing myself to the. Yeah, I must be blind cause the way that it's looking, I'm trying, but I don't see no competition. I got success in my future, man. How do I know it? This prophecy, no premonition.